All right, so let's start with this. Obviously, the optics, aren't great. It was maybe an inadvertent ad. People are wondering a couple of things. Why was this, sort of Atlantic reporter even, the one who was added of all these people? And it was very clear during that testimony today, there was no classified information. So what do you think the exposure is? And what would you like to see happen in the next days and weeks? As we just heard from Democrats, they're going to try to make this a really big deal, Seb, but you're on the inside. Give us your perspective.
The only exposure is for the dying Atlantic that is a rag, is gutter press. I remember 20 years ago, it used to be moderately interesting. Now it's just a purveyor of propaganda, including the editor, Mr. Goldberg, the man who has just, whether it's the Russia hoax, whether it's the sore losers or everything else, that individual, the editor of the Atlantic, is desperate to get clicks for his website. As John Radcliffe, the director of Central Intelligence, stated maybe 60 minutes ago during that hearing, his first day at Langley, he had Signal was installed on his computers. Why? Because government employees can use it. It is an end-to-end encrypted communications platform. And if you're not using it for anything that is classified, you are well within your bounds to coordinate policy on that platform. And to quote the great Pete Hegseth, no war plans were shared on that platform. So it's just a desperate rag, a gutter press filth magazine trying desperately to get attention as the Trump administration deals death to the enemies of the United States and her allies and partners. It's really that simple.
And there's been some significant, talks overseas as well in Riyadh, and I want to get your reaction. But just staying on this for one more moment, CIA Director Radcliffe did come under a lot of pressure and heat today in some parts of this as we look towards, like I said, the left is really trying to inflame this and cause a lot of concern regarding this. Let's play this exchange here.
When he was added to the thread, you're the CIA director. Why didn't you call out that he was present on the Signal thread?
I don't know if you use Signal messaging app.
I do. Not for classified information, not for targeting.
Well, neither
not
do I,
for
Senator.
Remote.
Neither do I, Senator.
Well, that's what your testimony is today.
It absolutely is not, Senator. Were you not listening at the beginning?
No.
When I said that I was using it as permitted, it is permissible to use.
I agree that's your testimony.
Yeah.
I agree that's your testimony. You asked me if I use it, and I said not for targeting, not for classified information.
And I said I don't either.
So this is sort of the topic that they're going to try to, hone in on. And as I said off the top of the broadcast, the attacks on the Houthis were successful, and many say a long time coming. So as you look towards today, the messaging, we know that J.D. Vance was on the thread. He's speaking with President Trump today. What would you like the American people to know, since you are also right there, Director of Counterterrorism, all the great work you are doing, and now this seems like a distraction, maybe an unforced error by some, they say?
Well, I'd like the American people to just ask one very simple question. Where were all of these senators when Hillary Clinton was putting hundreds, if not thousands, of classified documents on her unsecured private server? Where were they when we found out, in contravention of every security protocol, classified materials were being kept by Senator Biden in his garage in old, deteriorated Zappos boxes from the shoe store? It's strange that now they seem to have a problem with a story that is not a story. As John Radcliffe said, you are perfectly within your rights as a government employee to use this encrypted platform for non-classified communications. And as Pete said, there was nothing classified that has been shared with any journalist. So the fact is, it's just another case of double standards. And to quote Newsmax's own Chris Plant, if it weren't for double standards, the left would have no standards at all.